Good afternoon. Welcome everybody to this Power Flowing Educational Lunch and Learn. I just want to remind everybody that this Lunch and Learn is brought to you by Family Partners of Morris in Sussex County. And my name is Patricia Houston, and today is joining us Matthew Gray and Kathy Patty from the Family Support Center, CarePlus, New Jersey. Welcome both.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. And also, I just want to thank Kat for making this happening. When I approached Kathy, she was very welcoming. And so thank you very much, Kathy. So Matthew, let's jump into what exactly is the Family Support Center, CarePlus, New Jersey, because a lot of people might want to know about your services and all of that. So we will want to start with this.
Sure, yeah. So the Family Support Center program, statewide program, it's available all throughout the state of New Jersey. It's a grant-funded program by the Division of Mental Health and Addiction Services. The grant came out in 2018. It was part of the package, with some other grant programs, all designed to help combat the current opioid crisis that we're in. The Family Support Center program, or FSC, as an acronym to shorten it, was unique in that package because all of the other programs really targeted the individual that was struggling with opiate or substance use, whereas the Family Support Center program focused on the family members and loved ones surrounding the individual who's struggling with addiction. So it was a unique program, at least back in 4 years ago now. There really wasn't many services out there like it. Providing individual and group peer support to family members via a professional in a professional outpatient setting. The FSC program targets family members or loved ones that love someone that struggles with issues related to substance use or addiction. The state looks to target certain families with certain presentations like opioids and stimulants, but we accept all families, regardless of the substance that their loved one might be using. So the Family Support Center program is non-clinical, so it's not therapy. It's community-based and supportive in nature. So I have a team that I supervise. I actually started with the program initially and was providing the direct support services to families. But now I have staff who do the direct work, and they are it's in the vein that the model of the program is in the vein of peer support and case management. So each staff member provides both peer support and case management services to families that love someone that's struggling with substance use. Peer support meaning having lived experience. So all my staff, have had some form of lived experience, loving someone else, family member, friend that's struggling with addiction. And then case management needs as well. Case management is part of our function as well too. It's actually kind of unique in the sense that we utilize a clinical model called CRAFT, which stands for Community Reinforcement Approach and Family Training. So myself and all my staff are trained in this model that is an alternative approach for families with this issue to the more traditional models that are found out there, like Al-Anon and Nar-Anon is a really well-known one, and then the intervention approach. The CRAFT model, again, an alternative to those really kind of two conventional ones, is more flexible. It's really a menu-based approach that provides family members with a lot of different tools and strategies, all geared towards the simple phenomenon of trying to help someone you love change. Non-confrontational styles of communication, behavioral management strategies, trying to reinforce good behavior, trying to discourage not so good behavior. Self-care is part of it, understanding substance use, addiction, normalizing it, validating it for family members so that they can get a better grasp of it mentally, and also have, more empathy for their loved ones. Their loved ones aren't crazy. They're individuals who are struggling, who are in pain, that are looking for solutions to their pain, even if they're not necessarily the best solutions. So really the heart of it is ongoing individual support, education, and coaching to family members, helping them help their loved one. It's what's known as a unilateral approach to change. I think it might be a little similar to what you guys do with families as well too. Depending on what's going on in the family, you'll work with one or more people, and it's geared towards, educating them and coaching them, supporting them in, okay, how can you be different? How can you change what you're doing to try to affect a change with another person or within the family? So that's really like the heart of it. Support them, educate and coach them so that they can better navigate the circumstances with their substance using loved one.
Awesome. And that's why I really want to have this type of conversation, because I know, especially when you hear CarePlus New Jersey, there are a lot of services under that umbrella. And so when I saw the Family Support Center and I saw what you guys doing, I was like, oh, we really need to get in contact with them, because I know you guys do tremendous job. So we want to make sure families, providers, and everybody out there know about your services. So thank you for being here again. Matthew, let's talk a little bit about what services and resources are available for families struggling with addiction, because I know there are a lot of services, but we want to hear from you what exactly they can find there with you guys.
So specifically, our program is available, the FSC program, again, providing the ongoing support, education, and coaching. Each family member, if you're struggling and you would like some support on how to navigate the circumstances, you could sign up with us. You would get linked to your own individual staff member who would be your person, your point of contact. You would work with them on a weekly basis, but also as needed. So, I mean, we have a structure Monday through Friday, hours of operation, but within those hours of operation, we really do try to provide ongoing support for family members. So we do have weekly scheduled appointments, but then family members can reach out to us on an as needed ongoing basis as well for any additional support that they may need. So it's a lot of education and training, like I mentioned, on all of those various, areas, but then also, as in addition to that, case management needs. So if there's any way that we can assist them, guiding them to connecting to other services and resources, either themselves, the family members, or their substance using loved one, we do try to provide case management services as well. In addition to the individual piece, we also offer a virtual family support group too, where family members, can get together, who have shared experience, lean on each other to support, share insight, give feedback. So we do offer that as a feature for the program as well. It's basically kind of an a la carte. What do you need? Would you like to do you just want group support? Do you want the individual support? Do you want both? Do you just want case management needs? Would you just like some support, some education? What do you want to work on? The model that we use is really neat, the CRAFT model, because it's really versatile. Regardless of what presentation or phase of addiction that the family is struggling with, we can help them. CRAFT applies. So whether maybe it's early intervention. So the loved one doesn't even have an addiction. They're just experimenting, as youth often do. And it's just use. It's not abuse, it's not dependency, but family members are concerned. They're still eligible, and we can help them. We can help them. Again, CRAFT is helping someone change, and relating to people differently, communicating with people differently, trying to manage someone's behavior. So early intervention, even if it becomes problematic, it can apply full-blown, classic addiction, with all of the various complex issues that can arise. It can address that. Even if their loved one is in early recovery or recovery maintenance, we can still work with them as well too. Because how can you as the family member help your loved one continue and maintain their progress, right? So really it's kind of like if you're eligible for the program, when the eligibility is quite loose, if you love someone that's struggling with substance use, even if it's not the primary issue, maybe it's mental illness, maybe it's behavioral issues, maybe that's more kind of the primary, but substance use also just happens to be kind of involved, we can still serve them. Substance use makes you eligible for our service. But again, the CRAFT model is so broad. It's like, how can you help someone change? Even if substance use isn't really like the primary issue, we can still work with them. And it doesn't have to be, family is also a broad term. It doesn't have to be blood related. So it could be, hey, I have a good friend of mine that's struggling, or a girlfriend or boyfriend that's struggling. So basically, if you love someone that's struggling with substance use, we can help you. We can serve you. In addition to speaking more so for that case management piece, if there's anything that kind of falls outside of the scope of that direct support piece that I mentioned, or the individual or group, our job is to help, refer out and connect them to get their needs met. So, CarePlus we have a wide array of different services and programs for different populations. So if there's any, clinical needs, if someone's struggling with their own mental illness, or if there's any like family conflict, marital conflict, and they want to get couples counseling, for example, we have a lot of different services that we offer and can help families connect to. But not just within CarePlus, our job is to help connect family members however and wherever we can. So even if it's finding the resources and services in the community, in other counties, we do that as well too. We're just trying to help as much as we can. Like I said, the program is statewide. CarePlus covers the northern region of New Jersey, which covers the 7 northern counties, which include Bergen, Passaic, Essex, Hudson, Morris, Sussex, and Warren. So we provide this service to all of those to families in all of those counties. So any family member even if it's in the other counties too, we can refer to our partners. But anyone in those counties that loves someone struggling with addiction, there's a free state resource that's available to them. They just need to give us a call and we can help them, connect. Did I answer your question?
Definitely. And also, I really appreciate that you elaborated on that, because I know sometimes when we're discussing about what specific services that you guys offer, there are very certain points that usually a speaker mentioned it, but like you say, you went over and explain a lot of details in relation to different services that family can find through you and also support. And it's just a matter of having the conversation, exploring what type of services, what is more convenient for each specific family, and then you guys take it from there, right?
Yep, exactly. And as a kind of a side note too, like I said, unilateral service, so it's not therapy. So we don't, this is an important point to bring up. We only work with the family members and loved ones surrounding the person that's struggling with substance use or addiction. We never work with the actual identified person struggling with addiction, because then it would start to be more like family therapy, and that's not the service. But then, so if there's one person, that's struggling with addiction, anyone who's involved with that person can sign on. And we only require one person to formally sign up, but then we can support anyone who's involved. And one last point too, even if someone loves someone that's struggling with substance use, but hypothetically speaking, let's say there's not a lot of contact, maybe they live their loved one lives out of state, maybe their relationship is not so good and they're not in a lot of contact with them, they're still eligible and we can still serve them, because part of the CRAFT model is a lot of self-care and boundary setting. So even if you're not necessarily actively engaged with your loved one or trying to help them, theoretically, you still would be able to use our service if you needed some help with setting boundaries with them, maybe, or, taking better care of yourself, self-care.
Awesome. Now that we know that you guys are there and have all those services, support, how long does it take to get approval to the services with you guys?
So super quick, super easy. Basically, you can give any of us a call. I'm typically, just because I'm the program supervisor, I'm a great point of contact. Any family member who is interested in signing up or learning more about it, they can just give me a call. We have a brief conversation over the phone, 5-10 minutes tops. I just kind of see what their situation is. I tell them about the program, kind of what it looks like, what it entails. And if they're interested, I can, sign them up, and I can have one of my staff members reach out to them within usually 24 to 48 hours to schedule. So super quick turnaround. It's a direct line. Sometimes you call an agency and you'll get like a main line and you're gonna have to get connected. On the program flyers that I think you guys will have is my work cell phone. So it's my direct contact, and my email too. So you reach out, it's more of a direct referral, it comes right to me. And then I call the individual who might be interested, and then I just link them pretty quickly.
Wow, that's amazing that you guys have the ability to do that. And how much does this type of services will cost to an individual or the family that is involved?
So it's free. It's at no cost. It's because it's grant funded. It's funded by the state. So it's at no cost to family members. No insurance is required. You just have to be eligible for the program. So like I said before, loving someone with substance use, and living in our coverage area, which include the 7 northern counties. No cost. You can use it for up to a year. We can sometimes extend that depending on, need and availability of our staff. Part of the initiative too with Rutgers, so when they do grants like this, they use it as an opportunity for data collection. So we do administer pre-test and post-test surveys to our family members, collecting, basic information, about, finding out what families are struggling with, what kind of substance use issues are out there in the community. The surveys, though, are anonymous. So, we do ask family members who sign up with us if they could fill out a pre-test and a post-test survey. That's, one of the requirements of the program, if you will, but there's no cost attached to it.
And Matthew, we know there are families, having challenges with addiction and not knowing who to call or what to do, So would you please point out some of the struggles that you see in individuals in relation to not reaching out and the reason for that?
So struggles for families, like maybe not reaching out?
Yeah, reaching out to get help and, because the services, as you mentioned, those services are there, those resources are there, the support is there. But I'm assuming, based on hearing from families and people, around, like sometimes families struggle to reach out for support, even though there is a challenge.
Yeah, well, number one, you inviting us to do something like this is a huge help because it helps really spread the word and build program awareness and help connect families who, might be in need. So, grateful to be here because that really helps in breaking down some of those barriers and connecting families in need to this resource. Another thought too is asking for help can be hard, So sometimes it's not having an awareness of the resources, but then, reaching out, asking for help can be a tough thing. There's stigma, still at present day with surrounding addiction for families. I think it's gotten a lot better over the last few decades. I think, but there's still stigma out there. Some families still might be apprehensive or hesitant to reach out for help because they feel guilty, they feel ashamed, they don't want anyone to find out that this issue is present. Maybe they're ashamed of some of their responses to their loved one's behavior, quote unquote enabling, or maybe they're disheartened because they've tried so much, they've tried so many different ways to help their loved one. They've tried Al-Anon groups maybe or interventions and it didn't work. So maybe they're kind of burnt out from like trying, just because with addiction, we see, relapse, repetition, constantly the loved one falling, going back and forth, doing a little bit better, falling back and forth. So it could be that too. It could be, fear of being judged. It could be kind of being fed up, like this hasn't worked. I'm kind of done. I don't want to try anything, or not believing that nothing might work, nothing might help. I think those are some of the main challenges. Sometimes when, more specific, a lot of the clientele that we see, just because this is typically who reaches out to us, are often parents. I would say majority. We do get different dynamics. Like sometimes we get a sibling reaching out on behalf, concerned about another sibling, a friend reaching out about a friend, a partner reaching out about a spouse. So we do see those. But the majority of families that come to us are usually parents that are concerned with either an adolescent child substance use or an adult child substance use. And some difficulties that can be associated with that is sometimes parents aren't on the same page, so that could be another barrier to someone seeking out help too. What are some barriers about reaching? I think it's tough. I think it's tough to ask for help. It's tough. It's tough to say, I can't do this. I don't know how to move forward with this. Someone please help me. Yeah.
Yeah, and thank you for, pointing out those challenges, because that's sometimes those are the hardest part to kind of have this type of conversation. Sometimes you might have a challenge out there, but having the conversation sometimes can be harder. So that's good that you kind of highlighted those points, that so people can identify themselves saying, hey, I'm not reaching out myself because of this. So at least they know that it's something that happened not only to them, but to other people as well.
We work with our families, and we say, listen, this issue it's not just prevalent in the state, in this country, it's global. Like addiction is a global humanity social issue. It's so, and irregardless of status, race, ethnicity, education, whether you had a great childhood filled with love or a childhood filled with, neglect and trauma, it doesn't discriminate, so that's something that we do try to convey to our family members, that this is incredibly prevalent. And, it's not necessarily a good thing, but it's, normal, it's like, meaning it's just part of our world right now. It's part of, we all struggle with dependency, maybe not on substance use, but in different ways, like Netflix, Amazon Prime. So, substance use is a specific thing, but it is also a human thing too. So we do try to normalize and validate it for our family members, meaning, this, you did nothing wrong, this, meaning, like, because sometimes we get family members, it's just like, oh, this is, they blame themselves as parents, like, oh, this is my fault, I've contributed to this, I've done this. And what we say is like, well, you could have done everything right, 100% to the T, and this still might have happened, because that does happen. You can't, that's why we say protective and risk factors, like, meaning it's like things that increase or decrease the likelihood of something happening, but there's no way to predict it, like whether or not someone will end up with a substance use disorder or an addiction. So we do try to validate that for family members. It's like these things, it's unfortunate and maybe even tragic, but these things do happen, and it's tough to really pinpoint, what factors, led to it. It's often like a multitude of things.
Thank you. And Matthew, how families and friends can support individuals touched by addiction? Anything that you can add to that?
Yeah, so the thing is, with the CRAFT model and what we really try to do with family members is, it's not just, hey, I'm really suffering or struggling with this situation with my loved one and I'd like some support. That's true. But the other side of that is family members are assets to their loved ones' issues, addiction. And I'm sure you know this, Patricia, too, in your work with families as well. It's like the family system, everyone influences and is impacted by everyone else. So if family members can, get some support for themselves, become more empowered with education and training, and have some coaching to help them make alternative, different choices, it can really make an impact on not just the loved one's substance use, but the relationship between them and the family environment as a whole. So, and that's that unilateral approach to change. Like, we're trying to help empower family members to become agents of change in their loved ones' struggles. The thing is, like, they have, and this is one reason why they're assets to, or agents of change. They have a lot of contact with their loved ones that we as treatment providers don't necessarily have. Even if someone's in treatment with us, for like a weekly therapy session or maybe some groups, and that's it. But there's a lot of time that we don't have contact with them. Family members might be a lot of contact. A lot of work can be done. Family members are also experts on their substance using loved one, meaning like they know their personalities, they know their substance use patterns from A to Z. So like they're like a lot of useful information on like, how can you help this person? And lastly, we see with addiction, motivation for someone seeking help for their addiction can wax and wane, sometimes be low, like I don't want to change, I don't want to get help for myself, or I can't. But family members' motivation to help their loved one get better is usually really high and sustained, right? It's like, I need to fix this. So it's like, even if someone isn't motivated for help, their family members are. And if their family members are getting support indirectly, ideally that their loved ones will be better supported as well too. So that's what's so neat about this program that the state developed. And also the CRAFT model is you're trying to help individual family members, your family struggling with this, but you're also kind of fighting the larger issue of addiction through the family. So pretty cool.
Yes. No, it's awesome. It's something, like you said, very unique, because it's the same thing with family partners. Like we don't provide services directly to the youth. However, we do work with the caregivers, because we know, like the caregivers, you might have a youth that might have some challenges, but also probably the caregiver might have other challenges that we can assist the caregiver to help empowering the youth. So it's a beautiful work what you guys doing for sure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And let's go over contact information, because now that we know there are awesome resources out there, so we need contact information.
Yeah, for sure. So any flyers you get from our program, it'll have the appropriate contact information. I'll say it now because I know we're being recorded. If anyone who's interested, families, or if there's any providers, professionals out there that want to connect families to that it might be in need, you can call myself directly. I'm the program supervisor. My name, again, is Matthew Gray, and my work cell is 201-249-7616. Or you can reach me at Matthew G, MATTHEW, letter G, at CarePlusNJ.org. So that's a direct point of contact for the program. Just reach out to me. I can help you connect.
Thank you, Matthew, for that information. And I just want to remind everybody too that Matthew's contact information will be below the video. So if you guys didn't have a chance to get a phone number right now, that information, everything, the website and everything is going to be right below the video. So once we publish the video, that information will be there. So thank you for that information. Matthew, any final thoughts that you would like to share here?
I just, no, I think I said, I think I pretty much covered it. I really appreciate you inviting us. This is a huge help for us. We're located in Bergen County, so getting the word out there and really kind of trying to get the service out in other counties is a challenge. So, opportunities like this are immensely helpful in connecting families in need. And, the thing is, it's like, I think this program is really wonderful and necessary. And, family members, you don't have to, I guess, final message, if you will, for families out there who are watching this, what you're going through is really, really, really hard. You don't have to do it alone. And there is hope, not necessarily a magic key or a magic bullet that's going to make everything better. But there are things that you can support, education that you can get for yourself that can really make an impact or a difference on your situation. What I say to our family members all the time is like, listen, even if you come to us and, your situation only improves like 15%, it's not ideal, but it's something. It's something. And I also say too, it's like, listen, if someone is using, your loved one that's using substances, maybe they might continue to struggle even despite the fact that you're involved with us. But maybe you feel a little bit better because now you have some support for yourself. You have greater understanding. Now you have some skills and strategies, techniques, tools at your disposal that you can use to help your loved one and to take better care of yourself. So, it's really hard. You don't have to do it alone. And there is hope. Those would be my final message. And we're here, give us a call. Even if you're not interested in signing up, that's fine. We're happy to help, guide you in some other direction. We're a program, but we're also, here to help the community at large too. So, give us a call. We're happy to assist.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So basically we already are 12:40 actually. Yeah, we made it. So yes, we definitely did it. So I just want to finally say thank you very much to you, Matthew, and also to Kathy for making this luncheon happen, and also to the participants that we have in here. So thank you everybody for being here with us. And now it's time for Q&A. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Patricia.
Sure.